Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Nisi's Sanctuary. I am Nisi, of course. And so if you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to see you. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, welcome back. So glad to have you here as well. It's really great to see all of you. So as you can see, I have my iPad. I'm filming on an iPad. I'm doing a screen recording on my iPad because I feel like this is the best way to show this to you guys. And as you can see in front of us here, we have a reading journal. Okay, so before I show you this is actually going to be a walkthrough of this reading journal. Okay, but before I show you this, we're going to go ahead and go through the housekeeping stuff first. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. That would help me out so very much. Also hit that like button. That also helps me out very much. And hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when new videos are uploaded. I think that will help you out very much. And also leave a comment on this video and tell me what you think. I think that will help both of us out very much. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we're going to get to the nitty-gritty of this video. So as I explained in another video, I have taken on a new chapter in my life, a new adventure, and I have opened up an Etsy shop. It's something I never thought I would do, but it's called Nisi's Sanctuary, which is the same as my channel here. I will leave a link to that in the description section so you can check that out. There's not very many things in there right now because I just launched it. And so by the time this video goes live, this is going to be another product that is going to be in there. So this is a journal that I created. It's a digital reading journal. So in my Etsy shop in Nisi's Sanctuary, I sell digital products such as like digital journals. I love, love, love making digital journals and using them. I love digital planning. I love paper planning too. Don't get me wrong. I love the feel of paper and stuff. But when I went digital, oh my gosh, it was just such a game changer, let me tell you. But anyway, in my shop, as I said, I sell digital products such as digital reading journals like this, other digital journal type things. And I've also got some other things in the works too. So yeah, so this is one of the products that I have created. And it's kind of almost hot off the presses a little bit. I have gotten in there and started filling mine in. But what I'm going to show you right now is the blank one. This is what you are going to get if you decide to purchase this from my shop. Later on in the video, though, I will go ahead and grab mine that I have started filling in so you can kind of see what it looks like as you use it. So anyway, as I said, I'm doing a screen recording on my iPad because I feel like this is the best way to show this to you guys. And this is a digital product, meaning that this is a hyperlinked PDF. So what you would need to use this would be a tablet of some sort, whether it's an iPad or something that is equivalent with Android, like maybe a Samsung or whatever. I'm not very familiar with Android stuff because I'm an Apple girl. So I'm mostly familiar with iPads. I'm filming on, this is my 10th gen iPad with the Apple Pencil 2. Which you're actually not going to see the Apple Pencil right now because, as I said, this is a screen recording. So I will try to do my best to point out like what I'm clicking on because you're not going to see my hands or anything moving or the pencil clicking on the tabs or anything. So I'll do my best to try to explain and show you guys like, what I'm clicking on and what you're going to see here. So as I said, this is a digital product. It's not going to be printed out on paper. You're going to need your tablet. You're going to need a stylus, such as an Apple Pencil. And you're also going to need a note-taking app, such as GoodNotes or NoteShelf or Notability. Okay. I use GoodNotes 6. And I think that's the popular app that most people will use, although there's also, as I said, NoteShelf, Notability. Some people use Zoom Notes, which I'm not very familiar with. I hear it's really good, though. But I just stick with my good old GoodNotes here, okay? So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this journal. This is going to be a little walkthrough of this reading journal that I have created. And by the time this video goes live, it's going to be up in my shop. I will put a link to it in the description section so you can go ahead and check it out. Now, what you'll get when you get the journal is you will get the PDF, the hyperlinked PDF of the journal. You will also get a instructional guide and instructional manual that will tell you how to download it, how to import it into your app, and some other helpful tips too, which I hope will answer a lot of your questions, especially if you are a new person doing digital planning or digital journaling. It can be a little overwhelming at first. There's a bit of a learning curve, but I promise once you get the hang of it, it's fantastic. It's awesome. I mean, it didn't take me very long to learn it all. And so, yeah, you just have to be persistent. And there's tons and tons of other videos out there on YouTube to watch, if you're a beginner, a newbie. If you like, I can also always create a little tutorial if that's something that you're interested in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get on with our looking at our digital journal. So this is done in some beautiful mint green colors. You have the cover, which says introducing the reading journal. And then I have Nisi's Sanctuary right there, as you can see, because that's who made it. I created it. Over here on the right-hand side, this is going to be your hyperlinked tabs. There we go. This is going to be your hyperlinked tabs. So up here at the top, you have the thing that looks like the 3 bars. It's kind of like a little hamburger button that's going to take you to a welcome page. And then these tabs, as I said, are hyperlinked. And so if you click on any of the tabs, it's going to take you to that section, that respective section here. So we have a library section, we have book reviews, we have series reviews, we have favorites, we have lists, and then we have notes. So there are 7 sections altogether in this journal. This is a very straightforward, simple journal. Some of the stuff that you may have seen in other reading journals is not here. I don't have any kind of like monthly calendars. There's no goal section. I didn't put any kind of reading challenges or anything. I didn't put like a borrowed books section in here. I am working on a more deluxe model that will have a lot of that in there. So, if that's something that you want to see, I am in the planning stages of that to try to put something like that out. So it has more meat. It'll be more of a deluxe model. This is the simplified version. So this is if you want to kind of compare like 2 different journals or whatever, this particular journal this is what I read when I got around to it. This is what I'm going to read when I want to read it. No fuss, no muss, no trying to run and race to get across the finish line or anything. This is just, what you do when you get around to it. This journal has room for 120 books to keep track of. It has room for 72 series. Okay. I really tried to keep redundancy down to a dull roar, as you can see in here. So we have our cover. I've explained to you about the tabs. So when you swipe over, you have a little welcome note from me. And this is my lovely picture. That was when I was a bit younger there. So it says, hello and welcome. I'm Nisi. And so this just kind of tells you a little bit about me and my shop a little bit. Down below here, under where it says, let's connect, I have 4 colored boxes, and this is where you can get to things like my Etsy shop, my YouTube channel, my Instagram, and my Pinterest, okay? And then down below that, I'll zoom in on a little bit, I have just a little copyright kind of disclaimer statement, basically saying that this journal is for personal use. There's no commercial license attached to it, so in other words, like you can't resell it, you can't redistribute it, you can't share it with anybody. It's yours for personal use as a paying customer. So please don't share it with anybody. And you can't like take it and resell it and claim it as your own, because this is my work. And then down below here, I'm going to zoom in on that. It says copyright Nisi's Sanctuary. Okay. If you click on that, it is hyperlinked. It will take you to my Etsy shop. If you hit yes, it will take you right to my Etsy shop. But I'm not going to do that right now because if you get the journal, you can do that yourself. And then the link to my Etsy shop, of course, is going to be in the description section. Okay. So if we swipe over, we have this cute little quote here. I love this quote. quote. This is my favorite all-time quote about reading, let me tell you. And the first time I saw this quote, oh my gosh, I thought I would die. I busted up. So, I cracked up. It was just, I was killing myself laughing. I really was. It says, outside of a dog, a book is man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read. And it was said by the world famous, beloved, iconic Groucho Marx. And like I said, I cracked up the first time I saw that quote, and so I had to put that in there, especially also because I'm a dog mama. So yep, I love to read, and I'm a dog mama. So I thought, I could totally identify with that, which I think a lot of you can as well. All right, so if we swipe over. Now, I could always click on the little tabs here as well. So if I were to click on where it says library, this is where that would take you to. So it's just one page over from our quote. Now, this is our section 1 divider. And again, it's done in the beautiful mint green. And so this is our divider index. And so this is section 1. And it's telling us that we have room to put 120 books in the library. And each placement in the library is also attached to a book review. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute as soon as we get into that section. So we have room for 120 books. Each library page has room for 12 book covers. So for page 1, you have 1 through 12, and then you have 13 through 24, and so on and so on. There's going to be like 10 pages here in the library section. Okay, so if we click on where it says 1 through 12, this is our first divider button. All these buttons that you're going to see here with the numbers on them that are done in green, they're all hyperlinked. Okay, so we're going to click on 1 through 12. This is our library section. And so this is going to be our first 12 placements. And each of these little rectangles here where you would put your book cover, it is attached to a review page. And I'll show you that in just a minute. But let me point out a few things at the top here. So at the top, as you can see, we're on page 1. If you look at the little green square that's highlighted over the number 1, that tells us that we are on page 1 of the library. There are 10 pages to this library with 12 books per page. So if you click on, say, number 4, it's going to take you to page 4. And you see the number 4 highlighted in green. That tells us that we are on page 4. And any of these pages you click on, that green highlighter is going to tell us like which page that we are on. So it makes it very, very, very easy to be able to tell where you are at. It's very easy to tell which page you are on. You just look at the little green dot and it will tell you which page you are on for the library. Very easy, very simple, easy peasy. So now when I said that each of these little rectangles is attached to a review page, let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's say book number 1, and I'm just going to kind of shoot from the hip here, but let's say your book number 1 is Naked in Death by J.D. Robb, okay? And let's say that you got your book cover in here, and you want to do your review for that book. You would click on this rectangle that says number 1. Now down below here, you also have your star rating, so you could use your highlighter to color it in, or if you have star stickers, you can do that. This journal will not come with any stickers. I did not make any stickers for this. I know some journals will. If you look on Etsy, there's like tons and tons of them. Some of them will come with stickers. I did not make any stickers for this. I am hoping to actually have maybe some reading themed stickers in the future, which then I will list up in the shop. But I did not make any stickers to go with this journal. I figured this was going to be a lot to actually learn first without having some of those extras. But yeah, never fear though, because I do have some products in the makes in the works that will have some stickers to go with it. But this journal, just so you know, it will not come with stickers. You will get the journal and you'll get the instructional guide to help you get it downloaded and into your note-taking app. So anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. If you click on number 1, as I said, let's say you're reading Naked in Death. You've got your book cover on the number 1 rectangle here. You've got your star rating done. You want to do your book review. So then we're going to click on number 1. Okay, it is hyperlinked. All those little rectangles are hyperlinked to go to its subsequent review page. So as you can see, we are on the book review page for our first book. And you will be able to tell which one you're on because it has number 1. So this is our first book review. So here you would put your book cover. And it's real easy to find those. You would just go on like Google and search for the book that you're reading. And then you can copy and paste that book cover from like, say, Amazon or an image or something. And you can just copy and paste that book cover into this little rectangle. And if you want me to make a tutorial video on me using this journal extensively, I will do that. And I'll show you how I would copy and paste a book cover into the library section and into the review pages and stuff. So anyway, book number 1. And again, there's 120 of these pages that go along with each little rectangle place in your library. So you would have your title, author, the genre of the book, the start and end dates, like when did you start reading it, when did you finish reading it, how many pages did the book have, and then down below, you would write your book summary. Here's your star rating right there. There's your book summary. Now, and then down below that, you have your book review, which I'll show you that in just a minute. Here on the right-hand side, I'm zooming in on it, you will see the different formats. So you could take your highlighter tool, or if you have like a circle sticker, or if you just want to circle it, you can do that. You can do it however you want to. You would indicate what format that you read the book on, whether it's paperback, hardcover, ebook. That could be like maybe Kindle or your Barnes & Noble Nook or whatever, however you read it, digitally, or an audiobook. I tend to do a lot of audiobooks, so that's the circle I tend to color in quite a bit. And then up here, let me point this out to you, it's going to say back to library. At the top right, back to library. So this is hyperlinked. This right here is hyperlinked. So if you click on where it says back to library, it's going to take you to page 1 of your library. Okay. So very easy to navigate, very easy to get around. You'll be able to definitely tell very easily where you're at. So let's go ahead and go back to our review page. So we looked at the top half. Here's our book summary. Down below our cover and our star rating. Here is the book review. Okay, so book summary is here. And then here is our book review. So up here, like you would just maybe do like a little blurb about the book. A lot of times Amazon or Goodreads will have something, and I tend to just kind of copy and paste a lot of things there. Here's your book review. There's quite a bit of lines to be able to kind of write out your thoughts about the book. You can either use your pen tool to actually write on your screen, or you can use your text tool and type it out. You would have to kind of finagle with the line spacing and so forth, but you'd be able to use like a lot of cool fonts and things like that you may have stored up on your iPad. Down below here, you have room for 3 quotes from the book. And then over here on the right-hand side in this corner, you have an empty box, which you can do anything you want with. You could do maybe a little miniature mood board. You could put a picture of the author. You could, if it's a series, maybe you could line up, a bunch of the book covers from the series in there. This box is highly customizable. You can do anything you want with that. So anything that you feel like you want to put in there, maybe practice maybe doing some hand lettering of your favorite quote from the book, that kind of thing. So anything you want to do with that box, you can do anything with that box. So these book review pages, you're going to have 120 of them, which match up, again, as I said, each place in your library. So this number 1 would go to book review number 1. Okay. Number 6 would go to book review number 6. So I hope that makes some sense to you. And when we get into my journal that I've started to fill out, I hopefully it'll make even more sense to you. But I hope I explained it well, so that you kind of get the gist of it a little bit. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at this again. So again, you have room for 120 books here. Okay. Now, if we click on where it says book reviews, okay, this is going to be our book review section. We have another divider. This is our section 2. Now, you have some places on all these buttons are hyperlinked. These buttons that are done in green, they're all hyperlinked. This will take you right back to your library. Where it says library, it's going to take you right back to your main library divider, as you can see, okay? This is going to take you to the book reviews, okay? So if you click on that, you're going to go to page 1 of the book reviews, as you can see, okay? And then the next sections are going to be the series. That's going to be another kind of little library setup that's going to look very, very similar to the main library, and I'll show you how that works in just a moment. And then down below, you have your series review, which these are also very similar to the main book review pages, and they are attached to the library type pages in the series section. So we're going to go ahead and look at that right now. In our series section, you have room for 72 series. Not 72 books, but 72 series, which, a series could have, a series contains, more than one book. It can have 2 books, it could be a trilogy, or it could have over 100 books. If we click on 1 through 12, there's going to be 6 pages of these series review pages. So if we click on where it says 1 through 12, there we go. As you can see, it looks very, very similar to what the main library page looks like. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is our series page, our book series. But if you go back to where it says library, you are going to see that this looks very similar, okay? And it works in a similar fashion, which let me show you what I'm talking about here, okay? So if you go to the series library, okay, you're going to see 1 through 12. This is, again, on page 1. Again, if we look on the top right corner here, our green square is going to tell us what page we're on. So we're on page 1 of our book series listings. We have 6 pages of this series tracker, of this series little library type page, okay? So whatever page you click on, that green square is going to tell you just exactly what page you're on. So it makes for easy navigation and to be able to tell just exactly where you're at without getting lost. So if we go back to page 1, again, we have 1 through 12. So what you would do is you would take a book cover of from one of the books in the series that you're reading, and you would put that book cover on whatever series that you're reading at the time. So let's say series 1, you're reading the In Death series by J.D. Robb, okay, as an example. And let me go ahead and go back to page 1 here. So if we go to number 1 right here, we're going to see that the little rectangle is hyperlinked once more. And you have a star rating so that you can rate your series if you like. Okay. So let's click on number 1. Oops. Let's click on number 1. If it'll work. There we go. Sometimes my Apple Pencil wants to give me a little bit of fits. So as you can see, this is going to look very, very similar to our main review page, but with a few little differences. Okay. Let me explain what this is. So I clicked on the rectangle that said number 1, and this is going to be our review page that's going to match that placement in our series library. So again, you would put a cover from one of the books in the series that you're reading. So let's use the In Death series by J.D. Robb once more. Book number 1 is Naked in Death. So you could take that book cover and copy and paste it here if you like. Or if there's another book in the series you like better, you could do that. So however you want to do it. Over here, you have series name, you have author, you have the genre, you have the number of books in that series, okay? So like if you're reading a trilogy, you would put 3. If you're doing the In Death series, I don't remember how many books it has. If you did like, let's say Harry Potter, it'd be 7 books. Or if you want to count The Cursed Child, there'd be like 8 books or whatever. But if you want to do like the main Harry Potter, that would be 7 books, okay? So I think you kind of know my meaning there. Number of books read. This part would always be changing because if you go back and read more books in the series, you could change that number depending on when it was that you read and how many that you've read, okay? Series summary. So you would write a little summary of that series. Now up here at the top, let me show you this again. This is hyperlinked. It says back to series. This is hyperlinked. So if you were to click on that, it's going to take you back to that first page in your series library. So let's go ahead and click on number 1 again. That is our hyperlink to go back to the series library. Then again, you have your format. So then you could either circle it, you could check it, you could color it in with your highlighter over here on the circle. To be able to indicate what format you've read the series or book or whatever. Paperback, hardcover, ebook, and audiobook. So you have your star rating. Here is your book series summary. And then now down below, this is where it's going to look a little different than the main book review page, okay? You have a progress bar. So you could take your highlighter tool and you could color in the progress that you've made on your book or your series. You could either use it to track the whole series progress, or you could use it to track the current book that you're in. However you want to do it, it's totally up to you. And the beauty of digital products is that you can easily change things up without having to do the whole whiteout thing or scratching and trying to cover something up. You know, it's easy to change up if you want to. So you can either track the progress of the current book that you're reading within that series, or you could track the progress of how far you are in that series itself, okay? You could take your highlighter tool and color that in, or you could circle it, however you want to do it. And then down below that, you have a listing of all the books in the series. So on the column here, you would put the number here. So let's say the In Death series, we're going to use that again. The In Death series, book number 1 is called Naked in Death. So you would write number 1 or 01 or number 1 or whatever. You would put 1. And then your book title would be Naked in Death. Okay. The start date, you would write when you started reading the book. You would write when you ended the book, like when you finished the book, like what dates did you start, what date did you finish, okay? And then over here, this is the review number. This is really, 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 really helpful because, like, let's say you're reading Naked in Death and you've got that in your main library under, say, number 52, okay? And so when you get done with that book and you're wanting to track it on your series page, you would write under the review number 52, okay, for an example. And this is very, very useful because I know I found myself going, okay, where did I put that book review? I know I read this book on blah, 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 such month. I don't know where to find it. And I'm kind of scrolling through a journal. I'm scrolling through, places where I've kind of tracked things. And it's like, okay, what review was that? And so if you write down like what review you put it under in your main section, then you can just go right to your hyperlinks again, the tabs on the right-hand side, you go right to your hyperlinks. And let's say Naked in Death is review number 52. And you wanted to look something up in that book, okay? So then you would go to your library. Your review number would be, let's say it's 52. So it would be on page 5 right there. Here we go. We're going to click that one. And again, we have the little green square up in the right corner that tells us we're on page 5. So then book review 52 for Naked in Death, let's say, is right there. And you would, if there's something that you wanted to look up in that review, you would click 52. You click 52. And there is your review, let's say, for Naked in Death. So very, very easy to look things up, and it is super, super, super useful to be able to keep track of. So again, you write down your review number where it's situated in your library, and then on the right-hand side is your star ratings. There's plenty of room for quite a few books that you could put in here. You can always duplicate this page if you want to, if you need more room to add more books. Now, I do have notes pages in the back, so you could always copy and paste one of those pages and put it behind here to do it that way if you so choose. Okay, so that's how the book series section works. You have your library type page that I showed you, and then you have the actual review page for that series. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Now, I was talking about copying and duplicating pages. You can do that to your heart's content, but you need to, but definitely, because most of the pages in this journal are attached to a hyperlink, do not remove pages, okay? Especially if you are new to digital planning, especially if you're a beginner, just don't do it, because if you take out a page that's attached to a hyperlink, you're going to break your journal. You're going to break the links in the journal, and it's not going to work properly anymore, and you're going to be very, very, very sad. Believe me, I've been through that. I get it. I understand. So you can add pages to your heart's content. Be very careful about how you move things around, though. Add pages to your heart's content, duplicate pages to your heart's content, but don't take any pages out, because most of the pages that we are looking at are attached to hyperlinks, and you don't want to break your journal. You don't want to have to import a new copy and then have to transfer everything over, even though it would be a lot easier to do in digital format than it is on paper. You just don't want to spend the time to do it, because part of doing the whole digital thing is the object is to be more productive. So be very, very mindful. Be careful of that. Do not take out any pages. I'm just going to give you that advice. Don't take out any pages. You can duplicate and copy to your heart's content. Okay. So getting on with the other sections of this journal, this is our series review page. Okay. So the next section is going to be the favorites page. So I'm going to click on the favorites tab on my right hand side, and this is our divider for our favorites. And so this is section number 5. Okay, so in this section you have favorite quotes, you have favorite books, favorite authors, and book of the month. And let me show you what that looks like. So every page behind this divider is hyperlinked, is attached to a hyperlink. So again, I'll warn you again, don't remove any pages. Okay, so our favorite quotes is right here. You have room for several quotes. Okay, and on the right-hand side, you can write the book title, the author, the chapter that quote came from, and then the page. Again, if you keep track of all that, like if you write down all that, you don't have to keep scrolling through a book to try to find that quote, like if you're trying to show it to someone or whatever. If you write it down from the get-go, you're going to be able to know just exactly where it's at, and you will save yourself a ton of time. It has room for, I think, 6 quotes. from 6 of your favorite books, or you could do it from one book or whatever. Again, you can always duplicate this page if you want to add more quotes. I know some people love their quotes, so you're definitely going to need more than one page if you want to keep track of all the quotes that you dearly love. Okay, so then the next page is the favorite books, and you have room for 3 books here. Again, you can always duplicate this page if you want more. You have a rectangle where you would put your book cover, or you could put a picture of your favorite author if you want. But I would put the book cover. And then you have where you would put in your title, your author, the genre, dates read, and then why the book is your favorite. Okay, so you've got like a little place to write out all of that. And so you have 3 books here that you could do. And then again, as I said, you can always duplicate if you want to add more of your favorites. Favorite authors, it works the same way. You could put a book cover from one of the books that the author wrote, or you could put a picture of that author, should you so choose. You have author name, you have number of books read by that author. You have your favorite books. And then if you have a favorite quote, you can put that in there as well, okay? Again, you can duplicate should you wish. The next page is book of the month. So like if you have a favorite book, like let's say for January, let's say your favorite book for January is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, let's say, okay? You would put that book cover here for January. And then you would also write down what book review number belongs to that book that you put in your library section. So let's say Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is review number 64. Then you would put number 64. It just helps you to be able to keep organized. And again, it just saves you a lot of time. So you're not just scrolling through your whole library trying to find that particular book if you're wanting to look something up in it. You would say, okay, review 64. If you wanted to look it up, you would again go to your library, or if you want to go directly to that book review, you would click your book reviews, and then it would bring up that divider, and then you would go to where it says 64, let's say, and then wham, you're right at your book review, and you can look up whatever you want to look up, okay? Now, again, as I said, there's no kind of monthly tracking, no monthly calendars or anything in this journal, but we do have the book of the month. In the deluxe model that I plan to be working on in the near future, I will have all kinds of like monthly goals and trackers and challenges and things like that. But this particular journal is just more simplified. It doesn't have any of that in there. Just to kind of repeat that a little bit in case you missed it the first time. Okay, so this is our next divider. This is our book lists, and you also have it on the tabs over here. So under lists, if you click that, you will get to this divider. There we go. So in this divider, you have wish list, you have book releases, you have currently reading, and you have did not finish. Okay. So we'll go ahead and look at these pages. So you have your wish list. Now, I did not put a general like TBR list in here. Again, that will be in the more deluxe model. But I figured that your TBR and your wish list could kind of be combined into maybe one thing. If you're anything like me, your TBR list is just never ending, just always growing, always growing. And so you would need like 100 pages to contain your whole TBR list. But in the Meteor model, in the deluxe model that I plan to work on, I will have a generalized like TBR list. But for this, you can kind of, think of your wish list as a TBR if that's what you want to do. Okay. So in the wish list, you have a book title, you have an author, you have format. So is it audio? Is it ebook? So forth. You kind of get my meaning that way. Price. what does the book cost? And then bought, you can either put the date that you bought it, or you can just check it off. You can put a little check mark if you bought it, however you want to do it. There's plenty of room for a good number of books. Again, you can always duplicate this page if you need more space to put more books. Your book releases works pretty much the same way. So your book releases, it has, again, your book title, the author, the format. Do you want to get it on audio, or are you kind of a hardcover person, that kind of thing? How much did the book cost? And then did you actually go ahead and buy the book? Okay. I didn't put a thing in here like where you could put when the book was released, but you can make notes of that if you want to. So I know a lot of people that like if I'm tracking a new release or whatever, I tend to buy it on release day. So I would just put the date in here, like when did it come out, because I know I'm gonna have it bought on that day because I've likely pre-ordered it anyway. So you would just put the date that you bought it or when it came out right there. The next page is the currently reading. So this is a really, really nice page. I really like this page. You would put your book cover of what you're reading. And here's your general information, such as title, author, genre, start and end dates. Like, did you, it's kind of quite a bit like the main review page in a lot of aspects. So you can kind of put like when you started it and then when you ended it, if you're finished with it or whatever. Pages, how many pages did the book have? You have your summary. And again, you put your cover on the rectangle. And then you have your star rating. You have a progress bar. Okay, so this, you can color this in. You can take your highlighter tool and color it in to mark your progress of the book you're reading. So let's say you're reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and you're like halfway through. You could take your highlighter tool and color up to the 50% right there, as you can see. I like doing that. I like making it look really pretty. And then below that, you have a log of your reading sessions. Now, again, in the deluxe model, I'm going to do a more sort of generalized log, but this one is tied to the currently reading section. So you can track your reading sessions when you sit down to tackle your current read. This is really helpful, especially like if you're in a long book, like let's say in the let's say you're reading Game of Thrones or something like that, and you kind of want to track your sessions and stuff to be able to tell like how often you're reading it, when are you coming back to it. You can track each of the sessions by you have date, you have the started on page. Okay, so if you're reading like a physical book, you could write down like what page you began your reading session on. Now, what I do, because I do a lot of audio, and I didn't change this up or anything because most people track it by pages, but what I do, because if I do an audio, I would note down the time on the audio player of where the book was. So like, let's say I'm reading a 7-hour book, and let's say that, excuse me, let's say that I ended off on the last session at 3 hours and 35 minutes, and that's where I'm going to start again. So I would write like maybe 3 hours, 35 minutes, or I could track it by page if it's a physical book. And then when you're done with your reading session, you would put down your end page, like where did you stop? So like, let's say I read for a couple of hours, like if I wanted to do it time-wise by audio, let's say I read a couple of hours and I stopped at 5 hours and 48 minutes, then I would mark down that time. Or most people do it by pages, and so that's how it's labeled here. So you would put down the page that you stopped on. So again, your page that you started on for that session, and then the page that you ended on in that session. And then in that last part, you can put time reading or time time reading. So like, let's say you read for 2 hours and you would mark 2 hours in here. Okay. And then you would do the same thing, for your next reading session. Okay. So like if you're having like, let's say a readathon or something like that, this would come in handy for you. Or you could use it like for one of your kids or whatever that's, in a reading program or something like that. The next one is the did not finish. Okay. So you have room for 3 books that you did not finish. Again, you can always duplicate. So you have where you can put your book cover. You're going to see that a lot of these pages have a very, very similar layout. Again, it's just very simple. I kept this very, 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 very simple, easy to use, okay? Very user-friendly. So you put your book cover there or anything you want in that rectangle. Title, author, genre, total pages, the reason for abandoning the book, like, why weren't you able to finish it? And then over here on the right-hand side, you have a progress bar. So you can mark like, how much of it you actually did get through. And then if you don't want to do that, you can always just write down like total read, like how many pages did you read, that kind of thing. Or you can do both. You can do your progress bar and then you can like write down the page that you stopped on, and then you would just make your note about why you couldn't finish it or didn't finish it or whatever. Again, you can duplicate the page if you have more than that, that you want to keep track of. Okay. And then the last section is the notes pages. So this is just very general. There's no hyperlink buttons on this page. There's just lines where you can just kind of label like what note you have where. You can copy these pages that are behind this divider and put it behind a review. So like if you want to do a more journaling about a certain book, you can do that. Okay. So in this section, I gave you 5 ruled pages to be able to write on. And I also gave you 5 blank pages. So like if you want to, there's the back of the journal. There's the back of our back book cover right there. So like if you want to do a mood board or a vision board with one of these pages, you can do that. You can copy any of these pages, any of these notes pages, and put it anywhere in the journal that you want to. So like if you want to do a little bit of extra writing, like on a book review, or if you want to journal about a character or something, you would just copy any of these pages that you want, and then go and paste it behind your book review or your book series or whatever that you want to that you want to do. That is what you're going to get with this journal. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing it, and please definitely visit my Etsy shop if you want to purchase this for yourself. I think you would enjoy it. I love keeping track of my books this way. Yeah. So another thing I want to show you guys, let me just get to one of these other pages here. So if you are like doing a review or pasting in books, and if you're zooming in pretty closely, you're going to see like some little speckles right there. That's the paper texture. I used a very textured paper for this journal. So it's not your iPad. It's not your iPad being goofy. It's not your eyes being goofy or anything. It's the texture of the paper that I used to create this journal. So I thought it was really pretty. I really love a highly textured paper. And I love seeing the different paper grains in this. So don't freak out that way. If you zoom in like real close and you see those like splotches or whatever, it's just the way this particular textured paper works. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the journal that I started filling in. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get the totally blank one. None of this is filled in. Of course, you have to do all the filling in yourself. But let me show you the journal that I started filling in. Okay, so this is mine right here. It says Nisi's Reading Journal. I went ahead and renamed mine so we wouldn't get it mixed up with the blank one that I was showing you guys. So I'm going to click on this one tab on the right hand side up top for Nisi's Reading Journal, and same cover and everything, same innards, of course. I mean, this is just the journal that I imported that I started filling in. So there's our quote. Love that quote. Let me show you wrong one here. Let me show you here. Okay, let me go ahead and get to the library section. Now, one thing you're going to notice when you start filling in with your book covers, when you start adding stickers and things into this journal, you're going to notice that the pages are not going to load as fast. Now, it's not the fault of the journal because you saw that as I was clicking on each of these tabs, the pages load very, very fast. I made this journal lag free. So it's just when you start loading in images like book covers and stickers and stuff, it's not gonna load as fast. It's just the way it is. So it's just the nature of the game. So it's not the your journal being defective or anything. It's just when you start adding all those extra things in, it takes that extra time to load. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by the placement in the library is attached to the subsequent review page. So number one, for example, I've read for number one, Skeleton Crew by Stephen King. I put in my star ratings. I used my highlighter tool to be able to do that. Now, I'm not going to really show you much about how I use the journal or me showing you how I've colored things in. I can make a separate video to show you how I do that, kind of a more extensive use video. I'm not going to do like a digital planning like 101 video right here, right now, because this video is getting pretty long. Anyway, there's tons of them on YouTube. And if you want me to, I can always make one to show you guys. Let me know if that's something that you're interested in. But I do want to show you how I started filling mine in so you can kind of see what it looks like and what I did, with the different tools here. So I've got 9 books so far filled in here. I started using this in July after, right after I got it created and when I was kind of doing my testing and stuff. So let me show you what I mean by the placement in the library goes with the subsequent review page. So number one is Skeleton Crew by Stephen King. And so if I click on, now don't worry that when you put your book covers on the little rectangles, the hyperlinks are still going to work. So it's not going to mess up the hyperlinks when you start putting on your book covers, which is great. So Skeleton Crew, I'm going to take my little pencil and I'm going to click on that. Okay, and so it takes me to my review page of Skeleton Crew, and this is because I clicked on number one. This is our first book review page, and so I've just started filling the stuff in. I took my highlighter tool and colored in where it says audio. I started just, now you can take your pen tool and write all this out if you want to do your handwriting. I use the text tool because I like to use like different fonts and things. Not that I wouldn't ever write any of this out. I may do that in the future. So I took and I my highlighter tool and I filled in the star ratings for it. I gave it 5 stars because I loved this book. I love most of the stories that's in here. I put quotes. As you can see, I put 3 quotes from the book. And then the box that's you see on the right hand side of the page that I showed you was empty. What I did was I took my highlighter tool and I colored in this whole box, and then I took my text tool and typed out all the stories that is in this collection, because Skeleton Crew is a short story anthology. Okay, and if I'm reading an anthology and sometimes I can never remember like what story was in which volume, so I figured this would help me out so much. And if I wanted to look and see if that particular story was in this particular collection, then I can do that. So I can just kind of look here and just kind of see like what all stories was in Skeleton Crew. So you've got, like, for example, you've got Nona, you've got The Raft. I love that story. You've got The Word Processor of the Gods. I also love that story too. The Man Who Would Not Shake Hands. That's a weird story, but a neat one. You've got The Jaunt. Love that story as well. But this is just a listing of all the stories that's in that collection, so that I won't have to, keep going and looking it back up like on the internet or whatever. I can just bring up my little review and, oh, was that story in that collection? Then I can look it up and say, oh, nope, I guess I guess that was in, like, say, Night Shift, or Nightmares and Dreamscapes or whatever. So same thing for here. This is Nightmares and Dreamscapes by Stephen King. So again, I did the review, put the book cover, did my quotes, and then I colored in the box with my highlighter tool, and then I put all of the stories in Nightmares and Dreamscapes right there. That way I can use that as a reference and be able to say, okay, was that story in that collection? And so I just kind of did same thing with the Dark Tower. This is the drawing of the 3, did my review, all that, did my star rating. And then what I did here was, again, I colored in that box. And then now I did start doing the series page for the Dark Tower series because I'm on the Wastelands right now and I'm reading that. So what I did was I took and I listed out all of the books that are in the Dark Tower series, and I put when they were released and how many pages each of the books had. Okay, so I think you kind of get the idea of how I've got that filled in. Okay. Excuse me, been talking too much and my throat's getting a little sore. Now, let me show you what I started doing with the series page. So on here, let's see, here we go. On here, in the series library, here we go. I put the cover of the Gunslinger because I started reading the Dark Tower series. So this is series 1 that I've got placed in here. So if I click on this, it's going to take me to my series review page. So I started a summary. I haven't done any of the review yet because I want to get a little bit further along in the series kind of thing. And then I need to do my star rating because I haven't decided what I'm going to rate the whole series as a whole yet. So I'll write a series review for that later. And then I've listed out all of the books that are in that series. There's 8 of them, I believe. You have 8 books in the series. So I need to come back and fill in like what dates and stuff I've read the books and all that. So I need to fill that in. I've got that in my review section, but I need to come back and fill that in right there. And then I need to put in my star ratings for each of the books. And I'll do that with my highlighter. So I hope that kind of gives you a little idea of how you can use this journal. And I really enjoy filling in these pages. I really, really, really love seeing how all of this comes together. It's just, there's just nothing like seeing your book journal start to fill up. So I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this product walkthrough. And as I said, if you want to have this reading journal for yourself, visit my Etsy shop. The links will be down below in the description section. And let me know how you like it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave comments on the video here. You can also reach out to me on Etsy. I'm pretty good at getting back to, well, I shouldn't say pretty good. I'm very regular about checking my messages and then getting back to you guys. And I try to answer my YouTube comments right away as well. So again, if you have any questions, you can connect with me and ask me whatever you need to ask me. But I do hope the instructional guide kind of helps you, helps answer a lot of the questions you may have, especially as a beginner, as a new digital planner, a new digital journal keeper, new digital journaler. But I love interacting with you guys, so definitely leave comments. And if you do decide to purchase the journal, please give me a good review on my Etsy shop. That would be extremely, extremely helpful as well. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the walkthrough of this product, and let me know what you guys think. And I would really love to hear, like if you purchased the journal and how you're liking it and so forth. So anyway, you guys have an awesome day. And we will go ahead and talk to you guys in the next video. Okay, bye everybody.